Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Oh my goodness, it has been a really long time since my last upload, and I had no intentions on taking that long of a break. I really didn't. And I feel like before I just jump straight into the tutorial, I owe you guys an explanation of what is going on with this channel. I know a lot of you probably don't care at all. You're probably like, who cares? Just show me the tutorial. And that's completely fine. If you're like that, skip ahead. The tutorial is in this video. But even if just one person is like, what is going on? Where have you been? What is going on with this channel? What are your plans? I owe you that explanation. I know I do from the bottom of my heart, because this channel has been a mess ever since the day I started it. Never once have I been consistent, and it's honestly so embarrassing. I've always wanted this channel to be consistent. There's so much more I've wanted to do with it, and I'm going to give you that explanation. Like I said, if you don't care about hearing about the explanation, you can skip ahead. I'll put a timestamp down below and you can just go watch the tutorial. No hurt feelings. Well, maybe I'd be a little sad, but honestly, I'll never know, so you can just skip ahead. And if you do want to hear what's been going on, and then also what my plans are for the future, stay tuned. Sorry if the background is a little bit different. Normally I film in my room, which has the blue closet door in the background, but I am actually at my boyfriend's right now, so different setup. I'm like in the corner of a room. I couldn't find a good place to film. But I was intending on filming at home during the week, but I actually ended up getting sick, so here I am filming. I am going to get this video out when I plan to get it out, so which I will get more into with my schedule later on my little update. But before I even start rambling about the future, let me go back in time and tell you a little bit about when this channel started, why I've been inconsistent, what's been going on in my life, and just give you a little backstory. I started this channel back when I was getting my undergrad degree, bachelor's degree, four-year college degree, whatever you want to call it. That's when this channel started, and I really never truly had the time to make YouTube the priority that I wanted to make it. The only times I really uploaded videos was during my summer breaks, winter breaks, fall breaks. Very rarely did I film, while I was in school. And I always told myself, when school ends, I'm going to make YouTube a priority. That will be the time. And that's what I always told myself. That was my mental state. And it didn't end up happening. So when I graduated, I went and got a job, and then I started working full time. And then I was like, this is it. This is the time I can start working on YouTube. When I get home from work, I have all night I can work on YouTube, and then also on the weekends I can work on YouTube. This is great. I finally have the time to work on YouTube and my plushies and sewing, and this is awesome. I finally have the time, and I was so excited. And quickly things, didn't turn out the way I had envisioned. I quickly became very, I don't know the perfect word to say of how I was feeling, but I would say I was feeling very sad and lonely. When I graduated and, moved back home, I wasn't dating anyone. I had gone through two bad relationships in college, and, that really had taken a toll on me. And then my two good friends, weren't living in the area anymore. So I really didn't have anyone except my parents. And, just working all day and then coming home and doing YouTube all night, every weekday. And then on the weekends, I would, do YouTube all weekend. I just really was not happy just doing that every day. I didn't feel fulfilled in my life. My career is, obviously very important, and my work aspect and all of that stuff. But, if I had to be completely and truly honest with myself, that's not all I want in my life. Another really big goal I had was to, one day get married and have kids and have a family of my own. And with the way I was living my life, I never saw that happening. And I knew something needed to change, and I had to get myself out there if I was ever going to meet, my husband. So that's when I took my first long break off YouTube. I had taken about a year and a half off, and it first started because I had tried online dating. It took me about 4 months of online dating before I met the most sweetest guy ever. His name's John. I'm still with him. We've been together for about 3.5 years. And, so we started a new relationship, which was obviously taking time. And then not too long after that, I then started grad school. And that was when YouTube really just got pushed out of my mind. It never like fully left, but the time to do YouTube was gone. Having time to work full time, do school part time, and then starting this new relationship, I had no time for YouTube. And I always told myself, I will get back to it. There's going to be a time when I can come back to YouTube and make this the priority I always have wanted it to be. So, I had taken a year and a half break, like I just said. And then finally I was like, I need to go back. I really miss sewing. Like I truly missed sewing. It's my hobby and it's something I love to do. And when I got back into it, I didn't want to stop. And I was like, I am going to try my best to make time for this as often as I could. I knew it wasn't going to be something I can do, all the time, as much as I want to, but I'm going to try my best to squeeze it in with the little bits of free time I have. So that's what I did. And the first video I think I uploaded was that dinosaur plush video. I think I say in the beginning, like, I'm, welcome back. I mean, not welcome back, like, I'm back. I think that's what I said. I think I said I'm back. And, I never really addressed where I was, what was going on. I just kind of said, I'm back, and just went along with business as usual. And it never felt right to me. I was like, I owe you guys that explanation if you want it. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I came back and I was making videos as often as I could, but it was very difficult, balancing everything. And then finally, the last year of grad school, it was just, I had no time to do it. The last few classes I took online, and in my opinion, it's just, they were more time consuming, or maybe the classes were just more time consuming. I don't know what entirely it was, if it was the online structure or just the classes in general, but I didn't have as much free time. And YouTube got put up on the side, got put on the side, not put up on the side, got put on the side. And that's just what happened. And I took a year off YouTube, and here I am. So I actually just finished grad school this past month in December. So now that that is pushed out of the way, I feel like I will now finally have the time for YouTube that I've always wanted to have. So what is now going to happen in the future for 2020? My hopes and plans. I hate telling my goals to people because it makes me feel like if I don't achieve them, everyone's going to be like, ask me what happened. You said you were going to do this. What happened? So it's like, I really don't want to say my goal, but at the same time, I feel like I want to hold myself accountable. I just want to say this and hope I'm able to keep on schedule, because that's always been something I've wanted to do, is to be consistent on this channel. So my hope and goal for 2020 is to upload a new tutorial for you guys every other week. So whatever weekend this video went up, my plan is to upload another tutorial for you guys in 2 weeks from then on that weekend. And my plan is every other weekend. So hopefully I am able to stick to that schedule. I hope I'm not just like sticking my foot in my mouth and gonna embarrass myself so much down the future, down the line in the future. I'm so bad with sayings, by the way. I'm really bad with sayings. My boyfriend like always corrects me. Embarrassing. But anyways, that's where I'm at. That's what I'm hoping for the future. I hope, this helped you guys like understand where I've been and what's been going on, and I just felt like I owed that to you. I knew I owed that to you, and yeah, so now that I got all that off my chest, we can start the video. So now for the reason why you all actually really clicked on the video is to see the pancake tutorial. So here's the little pancake plushie. This is what he looks like. If it will zoom up on him. So he has little pink cheeks, a little mouth, little plastic eyes, and then a little syrup and butter on him. And it's a very simple pattern. Like, this pancake plushie is so simple and easy. You know, if you're a beginner to sewing or you're not very experienced, super easy. You only need to know how to do 2 stitches to make this plushie. It's the fell stitch and the blanket stitch, which if you don't know how to do them, don't worry, I will show you how to do them in the video. So this plushie is definitely very good for beginners, and if you're not a beginner, he's still adorable to make. Before I get started with the tutorial, you know, please go give this video a big thumbs up. I would love the support and it would mean a lot to me, so go click that thumbs up. And yeah, so if you want to learn how to make this little pancake plushie, stay tuned. To make this plushie, you're going to need felt in the colors black, yellow, pink, copper, which is called Copper Canyon, this off-white color that's called Antique White, and then a tan color. You're also going to need some thread that is in the same color as this off-white material, and then also some tan thread that matches the tan material. You're going to need some stuffing, and then optionally you can also use some ribbon. You can add this to the top of the plush to make it into a keychain or to be able to hang up the plushie, so you don't need this. This is completely optional. And then I had just used yellow ribbon because I wanted it to match the little butter on the plushie, but you also don't need to use yellow. You can use any color that you want. And then another optional item to use is these black plastic eyes. So if you don't have these, it's okay, you don't need them. Instead, you can use the black felt and just cut out little circles. So this is another optional thing that you may need. And then also, if you are using the black safety eyes, you're going to need a marker. And if you are using the black felt to make the eyes, you're not going to need the marker. You're also going to need a sewing needle, some scissors, and then also some glue, which I'm going to be using tacky glue. The last thing that you will need to be able to make the little pancake plushie is, of course, the template, which is found down in the description box below. I am so proud of this template. It is the first template I have ever electronically drawn on the computer that I am now posting available for you guys. I really hope it's easier to follow and cut out the pieces. You know, I hope this is a step in the right direction for my channel and for my plushies. So this is a really big deal for me, and I'm so proud of it. And I hope you guys like it, and it makes making the plushies more enjoyable and easier. So there's that, and I have the link down below. As I just said, it's on my Blogger account, and yeah. The first step is to use the template to cut out all of your pieces. So you're going to need these 2 off-white circles, these 2 tan circles, which are slightly smaller than these circles, this little copper piece, which is the syrup of the pancake, this little yellow piece, which is the butter, the black mouth, and then also these 2 little pink cheeks. And then if you aren't using the black plastic safety eyes, you'll also need to cut out 2 little black circles as well. These next few steps are only applicable if you are going to be using the black plastic safety eyes, so you can skip ahead if you are not going to be using those. But if you are, stay tuned for these next few steps. So what you're going to do if you are using these is you're going to take one of the tan circles and place down the syrup, the cheeks, the mouth, and the eyes. And this is just to get an idea of where the eyes should be placed onto the plush. And then what you're going to do is remove the plastic eye and use your marker and put a little dot where the eye is going to go. And then you're going to do the same thing for the other side. So just put another little dot. After you put the little marks on the tan circle, the next step is to cut 2 little holes where those marks are. So you're going to fold this in half like that, and then you're going to take your scissors and you're just going to cut a little hole right here, and then you're also just going to cut a hole right here. Then you're going to take the tan circle that you just put the little holes in, and you're going to place it on top of one of the off-white circles. So you're going to place it right on top like that, and then you're going to take your marker again, and then you're going to make a mark right through the hole. So then what you're going to have is two little marks on the off-white piece. Cut two little holes where the marks are, just like you had done with the tan circle. Take the tan circle and one of the safety eyes and put it through the hole, and then put it also through the hole on the off-white piece. And then you're going to take the backing of the safety eye and you're going to put it right here, and then you're going to press it on, just like that. Then you'll attach the other safety eye the exact same way so that the front looks like this, and then the back looks like that. Then you're going to use the fell stitch to attach the tan circle onto the off-white circle, and you're just going to sew all the way around, and then you're going to do the exact same thing for the other tan circle and the other off-white circle. And if you don't know how to do the fell stitch, don't worry, it's like a super easy stitch, and I'll quickly show you how to do it in the next clip. So I threaded my needle with some tan thread, which was this color. And then after doing that and placing the two circles on top of each other, to do the fell stitch, you are going to make a stitch right like this, and then pull all the way, and then you're going to make another stitch right up here and pull. And then that's the first stitch. Then you're going to make another one, and then you'll just continue doing that all the way around, and you want to try and make each of the stitches evenly spaced apart from each other, and then each of the stitches about the same length as each other. Once you sew the two tan circles onto the two off-white circles, you're going to have these two pieces, and then what you're going to do is place them on top of each other just like this, so that the front looks like this and then the back looks like that. And then what you're going to do is use the blanket stitch to sew all the way around the two circles to attach them together. This stitch is another really easy stitch to do, so if you don't know how to do it, super easy, don't worry about it, and I'll show you how to do it in the next clip. Also, when you sew the two pieces together, don't sew all the way shut. Make sure you leave a hole open to be able to fill the plush up with stuffing. I threaded my needle with the off-white colored thread, which was this one right here, and then after doing that, you're going to pick up the two pieces, and then you're going to pull back the front piece, and you're going to make your first stitch on the back one just like this, and then pull. And the reason you're doing that is so you can hide the knot inside the plush. So then you put the other piece on top, and then you're going to make the next stitch through both of the pieces like this. And you're going to try and get it to come through where this piece had just gone through. So you're going to pull, and then before you pull all the way, you're going to go back through the loop and then pull. And then there you go. So you're just going to keep doing that. So you'll make another stitch over here, and you'll pull. Oops, got caught over here. So you'll make your stitch, you'll pull, and then once again, before you pull all the way, you're going to go through the loop, and then you'll pull. So I'll show you guys one more time. So you make your stitch, pull, go through the loop, and then pull all the way. So far I've used the blanket stitch to sew all the way to this point, and I'm going to stop right here to add a piece of ribbon. Like I said in the beginning, you don't have to add a piece of ribbon, that is completely optional. So if you are going to add it, I'm going to show you how to do that. So you're going to take a piece of ribbon, and then you're going to fold it in half so you get a little loop, and then you're going to place it in between the plush where you want to put it, just like that. And then this is how I stitch it into the plush. I'm going to take my needle, and then you're going to go make your stitch and go through both pieces and the ribbon, and then you're going to make another stitch through the ribbon on the top and go through, pull, and then you're going to go through the loop that you have here and then pull all the way. So I'll show you guys that again in case that was a little hard to see. So you're going to make your stitch and it's going to go through both pieces and the ribbon. And then you're going to make a stitch back through the ribbon. So like a stitch right here, right through, pull, and then this loop that's down here, you're going to go put the needle through and then pull all the way. Before sewing the plush completely shut, you're going to leave a little opening so that you can add some stuffing. And then once you add enough stuffing into the plush, you just use the blanket stitch to close the opening. The last step is to glue on the rest of the pieces. So you're going to glue on the mouth, the cheeks, the little piece of syrup, and then the piece of butter. After you finish gluing on all the pieces, then you're done with your plushie. And this is what it'll look like on the front and then the back. So that's the end of the tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I really hope you guys have fun making these little pancake plushies. I most certainly had a lot of fun making them. I think the three of them together just look so adorable. If you have any future video suggestion ideas, please go leave those down in the comments. I want to hear what you guys want to see from my channel in this year. And if you haven't already subscribed, please go do that so you can be sure to see when I upload new videos. And that's it for this video. So I hope you guys all have a great day, and goodbye. Actually, before I end this video, I was thinking how fitting would it be to make some real pancakes. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna be using Krusty's pancake mix. This is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. This is just the pancake mix that I like. So it's really easy too. All you do is add water and the mix together, and that's it.